welcome to Hog Talk. I'm your host, Ethan Garren. Today I'll be interviewing Coach Fisher of the men's and women's cross country team. How are you, Coach?
Good, how are you?
Good. Alright, so we'll start off with this. 2 roses and a thorn from last season. So 2 roses meaning 2 things that worked well last season that you want to carry over to this season. And a thorn would be maybe something that didn't work so well last year that you want to change to this upcoming season.
Very happy with the way our preseason worked. Like I said, we've had a short window between the start of preseason practice and orientation, and that seemed to work well with our cross-country team getting ready for that upcoming season. And then also I would say the second rose would be the introduction of a shorter race to help our first year and newer runners transition into the distance that they're going to see throughout that season. And the thorn would be, I would have to say, the loss of our 3 seniors. Like I said, there are going to be 3 shoes to fill, but after this week's race, I think we've taken some good steps with our incoming runners and our return runners to step up. So, pleasantly surprised for the upcoming season.
Great. Okay, the second question, the new motto for the St. Mary's Athletic Department, as you know, is Sweep the Sheds. So what I'm going to ask is, what does that motto mean personally to you?
We've taken ownership of that within our cross-country program. We had an in-depth conversation where they broke down each of the 5 points that we're emphasizing in Sweep the Sheds, and we had a good discussion at one of our preseason meetings, and it's something that we're going to incorporate into not only our practices but also our season, just to hold them accountable for the workouts that they conduct in practice, how they conduct themselves during the meets, and it's just all about accountability and shared responsibility.
Excellent, awesome. Okay, and another question I'd like to ask is, when you talk with your kids on the track team, and you tell them what a student athlete means, how do you define what a student athlete is?
It is a balancing act. Obviously, student athlete is a combination of academics and athletics, and it takes on an increased, more important role here at St. Mary's with the emphasis that we have on academics. So, and it starts from week 1. Got through the first week of classes, and they're still balancing and getting all their assignments done. And the good thing about cross country is most of our meets are on Saturday mornings, so we have the luxury of not having to take our kids out of practices or classes too often to get to home and away meets. So in that regard, we're allowed to keep them in the classrooms longer than some of the other sports may.
Excellent. All right, so now we'll move on to some fun questions.
Okay.
So the first one I'm going to ask you is, do you have any pre-game or pre-run or pre-meet rituals that you have?
I try to, like I said, as a runner myself, like I said, we all have certain things that we all like to do before races. So, and that's the same for our cross-country runners as well. So I try to mesh some team dynamic stuff with allowing the runners also to go through their little normal routines that they would normally before a race. But it'll be a dynamic stretching, some core work, a warm-up, and then some stride outs before the start of the race.
Awesome, great. Okay, my next question is, what is the best part about being a coach?
It's just a continuous interaction with our student athletes. I see them at practice, I see them in our races. I'm lucky enough to employ some of them, so I get to see them in various roles and get to see them grow from their first year all the way to when they're walking across the stage on graduation. So
awesome. And next, which TV show do you binge watch the most?
It's probably anything with Criminal Minds and that genre, or NCIS.
Next, if you had the opportunity, hypothetically, to coach any other sport on campus, which one would you choose?
I will venture out into, say, a new sport. As a triathlete, triathlon is an emerging sport on the women's side, so if we were to ever add another sport at St. Mary's, I would love to coach either the men's or women's NCAA triathlon team.
Awesome. And next, your favorite aspect of St. Mary's College?
The water.
The water.
And like I said, students say that when they come here on their admissions tours.
Yeah.
And then also as a triathlete, I love swimming in the St. Mary's River, and bringing a triathlon to the campus this past June. It was great to see many more people in the water as well, but I love the location.
Great choice. And next, what is your biggest pet peeve as a coach?
We've adjusted it a little bit with cross country, and it could be specific to cross country. But as I mentioned earlier, with the times of starts of our races, we leave somewhere between 3 and 4:30 in the morning every Saturday for races. So I am happy to recover on my sleep once our cross country season is over with. But I do get to choose what meets we go to, so I guess I'm partly to blame for that.
Awesome. All right, and on that note, we'll leave it there. Coach Fisher, thank you for a great interview.
Thank you very much.
Okay, now we're joined by my own coach, Coach Robinson. Coach, how are you?
Good to see you.
Good. Okay, first question. The new motto for the athletics department is "Sweep the Sheds." What does that new motto mean to you?
Well, I like it. It means to me about being detail-oriented, and that's one thing that we talk a lot about with our team is taking care of the little things so that way we can really focus on what's important, which is, when it comes to practice time, is focusing on tennis. So if we take care of getting our paperwork in, passing our classes, doing everything we need to do in the classroom, then when it comes time for tennis, we can spend that extra time during practice time, before practice, after practice, to put in all that extra work that's going to take us to the next level. So for me, it's really about being detail-oriented, doing everything we need to do. The motto to me, it's if you're sweeping the sheds, you've probably taken care of everything else. And so for the same thing with us, by the time we're down to that level of detail, we will have taken care of everything else, and we're really then just kind of perfecting our craft at that point in time.
Awesome. All right, next question. 2 roses and a thorn from last season. So 2 roses meaning 2 things that worked well last season that you want to carry to this season, and a thorn is something that maybe didn't work so well last season that you'd like to change for this season.
Okay. Well, that's a good question. It's hard when I think of thorns. You immediately think of, well, what were your bad losses? What things would you like to go back on? And for me, honestly, we put out some good wins last year. The losses to York and SVU, those are always conference tough matches, so we'd like to turn those around. Part of that thorn, though, especially from the men's side, goes to losing one of our players due to injury. It's not something you can really prevent, but just when you look back on last season, losing a guy to injury, then losing a tough conference match, obviously we'd like to change that if we could go back on it. But as far as bright spots, there was a lot from last year. When I think of bright spots, I immediately go to the players. Well, who impressed me as a player, right? And I saw a lot of things. I mean, we had on the men's side a big freshman class who came in and all worked hard. They had the right attitude, and so from that was a bright spot. And even the returners came back and they were better than ever. On the men's side, they were fitter than ever, and they were playing better tennis than ever. And so, especially from the men's side, that's what I saw. On the women's side, we had one first year come in Claire, and had a great year for us. And then we had some solid returners as well at the top of the lineup. So, from that aspect, we had some definite bright spots. And, as far as the thorns, really, I can only really point to the injuries. The attitudes were good last year. We always want to keep getting better with working harder and good attitudes. But I think, last year was better than the year before. And I think this year will even be better. I'm already excited about the first week that we're into practice here on just the work ethic and the attitude and where we're headed. So, I think that's where I'd like to continue to grow even more.
Excellent. Okay, now it's time for the fun questions.
Yeah.
So the first one, let's say we had a hypothetical universe,
Okay.
and you have the opportunity to coach any other sport on campus. Which sport would you choose and why?
Oh, men's basketball. Not because I think I could act like Harney on the sideline. That would be tough. That would be tough to match. But no, in general, I grew up as a basketball fan. I played basketball as well.
You do have a neat crossover.
I do enjoy the aspects of the game, the different strategies of defenses, zone defenses, and different matchups. You go with a more athletic lineup, you go with a better shooting lineup. And I don't pretend to understand all the intricacies, but I understand enough to watch the game and think I do. So I'm the perfect coach from the stands. So why not get on the sideline and try it, right?
Awesome.
Maybe I can get an opportunity if Coach Harney's watching.
Yeah, exactly.
Bring me on.
Okay, next, what is your favorite TV show to binge watch?
Oh, that's a tough one. 'Cause I don't watch a lot of TV shows. I'll watch movies and I watch a lot of sports. I mean, getting back to basketball, I binge watch a lot of NBA basketball during that season. During the summer, I don't watch a lot of TV except for right now because U.S. Open's going on. Wimbledon season, watched a lot of Wimbledon, watched a lot of U.S. Open. So I definitely get into binge watching during major tennis tournaments and NBA playoffs. So those are the two big ones I really get into binge watching.
You and me both. Next, what is your favorite part about being a coach?
Definitely just working with the players. I mean, on the court, off the court, to just see how they respond and grow. And every year you just see that improvement. I enjoy the game of tennis, but I also just enjoy watching improvement. You see players get better, get stronger, faster, improve their skills, and you see their confidence grow, and you see them mature as human beings, and both on the court, the way that they handle themselves, and also in the classroom. You see how they, early on, as we figure out how to balance being away from home with your academic schedule and your athletics, and you just see that mature. It's great to see as a coach, and if we can play a role in helping that process, that's great. It's great for us to be able to help in any way we can as we see, really it's a transition from boys becoming men, as we say, for the men's side. It's that growing up, and we can play a small role and kind of help that, or maybe a large role in some cases. So that's definitely the best part of being a coach.
Great. And on the flip side, what is your biggest pet peeve as a coach?
Okay. Wow. Where to start? No, I think for me it's two things. It's really just I would say, I'm trying to think how to word this as a pet peeve. I mean, for me it's just attitude and commitment. And so for me, if somebody's showing up a minute late to practice, or walking up as practice is starting, or isn't ready for practice, like they show up but they don't have something, or their racket isn't gripped, and then and so that's kind of a pet peeve of mine, I would say, maybe even a little more than a pet peeve, but I think that's the one thing. And just coming with a positive attitude, because I think if somebody is there and they're doing what you ask, but they're doing it with not full effort or not a positive attitude, it's going to bring the whole team down. And so I'd say that's almost a pet peeve there, where it's just like, if you just do what you're supposed to do, but do it with a positive attitude, everything's going to go more smoothly for the team. Everybody's play is going to improve. Everybody's effort's going to improve. So I'd say just commitment and attitude are the two big ones.
All right, commitment and attitude, and we'll leave it there, Coach. Thanks for stopping by.
All right, thanks a lot, Ethan.
Okay, and now we're joined by Coach Oliver. Coach Oliver, thanks for coming on.
You're welcome.
All right, so I'll start off with the new athletic department motto, Sweep the Sheds. What does Sweep the Sheds mean to you?
I think it is about the details, really, right? And it really encompasses what we try to do. Anyway, and I think the athletics department really came up with 5 great points to really encompass what we're trying to do, I think, as an athletic department, but our individual teams as well. One of the things we've talked about for years is the humility, right? And how you need to make sure that it's not about you, it's about the team, and you're working hard for the team. And again, that's one of the main focuses that we've been talking about from last year. Having a relatively successful year with regards to obviously the record, we needed to make sure that we had some humility going into this season, and knowing that we haven't won and then accomplished what we needed to do, which is win the CAC, and so using that to push forward. But all 5 of the points I think are fantastic with regards to that.
Awesome, great. And going back to last season, what were 2 roses, so 2 things that worked well last season that you want to carry over, and 1 thorn, something that maybe didn't work so well last year that you want to change this year, that you want to take from last season?
I think 2 of the things that I think we really did well last year was the mentality. Again, we've been saying for a couple of years that we want to be in the top 2 or 3 in the conference, and we want to be competing for CAC championships and things of that nature. And it didn't really translate in the wins. But I think last year, I think there wasn't a team in the conference that we were truly afraid of, which is that shift in mentality. I think that helped us win, 12 games last year and become 3rd in the conference. So I think carrying that forward for next year, for this year, is something that we're working on. I think obviously, reaching, having a winning record was a big thing. That was the first time that I've done personally with regards to as the head coach and us as a team. And so, that was a big step going forward, and we want to continue to be successful and to have a winning record. Obviously, the disappointment from last year was losing in the first round of the playoffs. And so I think, as far as this year is concerned, obviously our focus is to not only do well in the conference, but to do well in the playoffs as well. And so going forward and hopefully getting a chance to compete for a CAC championship.
Excellent, great choices. And next, when you talk to your players or you talk to recruits about what it means to really be a successful student athlete, how do you define what a successful student athlete is?
I think really having a great balance as a student athlete is very important. Again, you are here to get a degree, right? And you are here at any college, but especially here at St. Mary's, to make sure you are going to class and you are getting that degree. Obviously, the athletic side of things, and in our case, the soccer side of things, is very important. And the expectation from us as a coaching staff is that you put in 100% of your effort into both. But I think it's that balance, and I think if student athletes do not get that balance correctly, obviously one or the other is gonna suffer.
Right.
And so we really focus on that time management, on making sure that they're taking care of what they need to take care of, so they are successful on and off the field.
Awesome. All right, now time for some fun questions. So, Coach Oliver, what is your favorite movie?
Braveheart.
Braveheart, great choice. Okay, and your favorite food?
I like Indian food, and so probably a good chicken tikka masala.
Nice.
Very nice.
Excellent choice. Next, do you have any pre-match rituals?
Personally, I not particularly. I used to have a lot as a player, but no, not really. It's really being there for the players and trying to get the message across is probably my main concern. But no, nothing like that.
Okay, gotcha. No superstitions or anything?
Not really. No, no, not really.
Okay. In a hypothetical universe, if you had the opportunity to coach any other sport on campus, which one would you choose and why?
Does it have to be a sport that's here?
No, it doesn't. Coach Fisher chose if we had a triathlete team.
Okay.
So it can be
I
any
would say
sport.
if we had a golf team, I would
Golf
coach the
team.
golf team.
Awesome.
I'm an avid golfer, so I would definitely coach that.
Great. Okay, next, what is your biggest pet peeve as a coach? What's something that really grinds your gears?
How much time do we have? I think effort, I think, is the big thing. If for me, you can control that. You can, there's some things that you can't control as a player. Referees' decisions, weather conditions, things of that nature. But you can control your fitness and you control your effort.
Right.
And so, if an individual is not doing that, then it definitely is frustrating because they can absolutely control that. We talk about controlling the controllables, and those are the things that we expect out of the players. And so, if that's not happening, then that is a little frustrating for sure.
Awesome. Okay, and lastly, what is your favorite moment of the season, or something that, when the calendar comes out, what is the thing you most look forward to?
Games.
Games.
I love the games. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, listen, being a coach is a great thing. It really is, and doing what you love and following your dreams and your passions is fantastic. And so, to be honest with you, all of what coaching encompasses, I really like. But But when it comes to game day, that's where the butterflies start. That's where the
Right,
you know, and again, I get that. I used to get that as a player.
Yeah.
Still get that as a coach, and so I am so excited before game day for the players and just the battle and the you know the challenges that we're going to face and things of that nature. And so yeah, game day for me is great.
Awesome. All right, on that note, we'll leave it there. Coach Oliver, thanks for coming on the show.
Absolutely.
Okay, we are now joined by Megan Moore, senior captain of the women's field hockey team. Megan, how are you?
Oh, good. How are you?
Good. Okay, so we'll start with the new department motto, sweep the sheds. What does that mean to you?
So really, I just think that it means just going the extra mile, doing everything you can to help out. Like, I know normally on teams, like, freshmen always have to get the ball bucket or something, but I think that it really means, like, well, sometimes the seniors can get it. It doesn't mean that it's limited to one class, or just kind of doing your part on and off the field.
Awesome, great. Next, what does it mean to be a student athlete?
I don't know, it's really special to me because I feel like I get to be involved in so many different aspects on campus. Like, I'm a part of the SAC exec board this year, and I'm a team captain, but also I'm really involved in all of my classes, involved in other clubs, and I feel like you really get the most out of your entire school experience by being involved in athletics too. It makes you a more well-rounded person in the community.
I'd have to agree with that. Okay, next, 2 roses and a thorn from last season.
That's a tricky one. So I think one of the roses would be getting a new coach, because she really brought a lot of new life into the program and kind of spiced things up. And kind of with that, not really a thorn, but she makes us work a lot harder. Preseason was much tougher this year, which I think is something that we needed. Another rose, I don't know. Our team was really small last year, so I think that really helped us with our team cohesion, because we only had 18 girls last year, so we all had to be really, really close on and off the field. So it made us work really, really well as a unit, which is translating into this season. Then a thorn would have to be losing our seniors, because
It was rough.
yeah, they were all such huge parts of our team last year, and it's going to be tough this season without them, but I think we're up to the task.
Okay, now it's time for the fun questions. So, first, what is the best part about being the captain?
I think just making those close relationships with all of your teammates. Like, I know that if ever I'm having a bad day, I can always go to anyone on my team, or if they're having a bad day, I know that they can trust me to bring whatever's weighing on them, and
Right.
hopefully we can work through it. And just also having a close relationship with the coach, because it's really great having not just peers you can go to, but also like an adult and authority figure to always have your back on campus.
Great. Next, what is your favorite song to play to hype yourself up before a game?
So actually, I'm going to steal this from one of my teammates. Sidney Klein always plays Du Hast before every game, which is like, it's like a German death metal song. But everyone's super pumped. And like, we'll put it on the block rocker on the bus before games.
Hast. Okay, so how do you spell that? I'm gonna try that
D-U.
this time. D-U.
H-A-S-T. And
Okay.
honestly, I don't even know who is the artist, but it's a really good pump-up song.
All right.
So.
I'm going to try that one out of this episode. Hopefully that works. Okay, next, which TV shows do you like to binge watch?
Oh gosh. So last year I went through a Grey's Anatomy stage and blew through it, which is kind of bad because it took over my whole life. But then like Orange is the New Black. I binged It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia this summer, which is such a good one. Yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
Awesome. Okay, what is your favorite aspect of St. Mary's College?
Oh my gosh, the water.
The water.
It's gotta
That's
be
a
the
very
water.
popular choice.
Yeah, I think that's what brings so many people here, and that's why I fell in love with the campus when I came on my recruiting visit as a senior in high school, and it never disappoints, honestly.
Great.
So it's the best part.
It is. Next, do you have any pre-game or pre-match rituals or superstitions?
I don't know. I try to wear the same headband every game,
Okay,
but
so
if it gets like dirty or
Yeah.
something, obviously
Yeah.
I can't wear it. But But yeah, just kind of listening to music before the game, hanging out with my friends. We always have like little dance parties in the locker room, which we like to call Club Fock because we all get super pumped. But yeah, that's kind of just what we do before games.
Great. And last question, what is the moment of the season that you most look forward to?
I don't know. Playoffs are always so much fun.
Playoffs.
Yeah, because it really puts to the test how much you've been working all season, and even in the off season in the summer, like it's what we build up to every single year, and it's just the most fun part. That's why we play.
Awesome. All right. And on that note, we'll leave it there.
All
Megan,
right.
thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Okay, welcome back. We are now joined by Sidney Larkin, captain of the women's soccer team.
Hi.
How you doing, Sidney?
Good.
Good.
How are you?
Good. All right, so first we will start off with 2 roses and a thorn from last season.
2 roses. I think overall we finished in the top of our conference, which is what we wanted to do. So that was definitely a rose of the season. And the second one would be getting past our first round of playoffs, which in the past has been something that was difficult for us. And so to do that was great. And I would say that the thorn had to be losing in penalty kicks in the semifinals.
Yeah, that's a killer.
Yeah.
Okay, next, what does it mean to you to be a student athlete?
To me, it means time. I just think of time management. It's doing a little bit extra, having to do a little bit extra, but it's what we all love to do. So it's great that we can be student athletes at St. Mary's, a place that values both the academics and the sports.
Awesome, great. Okay, your highlight of last year's season?
Highlight. I think for me personally, and probably the team also, was in playoffs. We were matched up against Salisbury in one of the earlier rounds, and I think it was tied for most of the game, and then towards the end we were able to, right before the end of the game, we were able to break out and get a goal and finish it and not have to go into overtime, and I think that was like just crazy good for us. Everyone was excited about it, so that was probably one of the highlights of last year, and for me personally, because that's where I'm from.
Awesome.
So it was nice to beat them again.
Okay, now we'll move on to the fun questions. So first, if you are going to be stranded on a desert island and the only thing you can bring are 3 movies, which 3 movies are you bringing?
Okay, the first thing I think of is that they need to be different movies, so definitely need a sports movie in there. I mean, Space Jam is classic.
Classic movie.
So I would go Space Jam, and then, I have to have a chick flick in there, but definitely rom. It's gotta be funny. So I would go with Space Jam, Crazy Stupid Love,
Good one.
and The Little Mermaid.
Okay, classic.
Yeah.
Good choices. Okay, next question. What is the best part about being a captain?
I think for me, the best part is being able to be on both sides of the team now, because not that you can't early on, but I'm able to see more of what Peter and the other coaches are doing and be more involved in that, but still I'm connected with the team and can represent the team and stay close to them, and it's just like a nice little balance of each. Especially I'm interested in coaching in the future, so it's nice to get a little bit of exposure to what that would be like.
Awesome. Okay, next question. Which TV shows do you like to binge watch?
Oh gosh, binge watching Shameless right now.
That's a good one.
I think the other day I probably watched an entire season in one day because it was raining, but it's so good. And then a show I haven't been able to watch lately, but have been watching, is This Is Us, because it's live on television, so it's kind of hard for me to catch it, but I love to watch that one too.
I love Shameless. Okay, next question. What is your favorite song to play to hype yourself up before a game?
Right now it's Mi Gente, which is
Mi Gente, what's
yeah,
that?
it's Spanish music.
Spanish. We had a German metal song earlier. Now we have Spanish music, so it's nice to know we have a real international.
Yeah, I just got back from abroad, so all of that music
Nice.
is definitely in my recents, and that one's pretty popular. It's on one of the top lists,
Awesome.
but we added that to the warm-up
Okay.
CD.
I'm gonna try to add that to the tennis team and see if that works. Okay. Next question. What is your favorite aspect of St. Mary's College?
Oh my gosh. I think I don't know if I could pick one thing, but if I could mesh two of them together, it would be the people and the atmosphere. I don't know, it's something about when I step on campus, I actually do feel like I'm home. And it's just something I wasn't able to find at other schools, and so that's something I love about St. Mary's, is just being here and being surrounded by great people.
Awesome. And the last question, what is your favorite moment of the season, or like something you really look forward to?
I think the beginning of conference play is like a big thing that we all look forward to. Not that non-conference games don't count for anything, but we definitely get more hyped up for conference games. It's some little extra, something we turn on, I don't know, but those are the games I get excited for.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. And on that note, we'll leave it there. Sydney, thanks
Thank
for coming on
you.
the show. Okay, we're now joined by junior captain of the women's volleyball team, Hannah Cross. Hannah, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so the first question, what are two roses and a thorn from last season?
Well, I would say one of our roses was having our first season with our head coach, Kelly Martin. She came in and we weren't really sure what to expect. She came in really like officially, we heard from her in like late July.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, season starts mid-August. So, but she really came in, she really like whipped us into shape. And I'm really excited for another season with her.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then I would say another rose was we had over 20 wins for the season.
Hey.
That was really cool. We came in kind of as underdogs. We didn't have many people. And we had to kind of fill in some positions where people weren't really comfortable all the time. And we really just came out really hard and showed a lot of people that we can really play. And I would say our thorn was that we dropped some sets and some games with some teams that really we could play with. But I mean, we're going to see them again this season, and I think we're going to give them runs for their money. So,
Great, awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, next, the new athletic department slogan is "Sweep the Sheds." What does that motto mean to you?
For me and for my team, it means go out there, work hard, and leave everything out on the court. I mean, nothing gets left behind. If we win a game, we want to know we won it well. We want to know that we played disciplined, that we played our best. And if we lost, we want to lose knowing, hopefully we don't lose.
Yeah.
We want to know that we left everything out there and that we, we had that game.
Got it. Okay, next, and what are your goals for this year?
I would say goals, doing really well in the conference games, definitely going out strong. We have a young team, so I would say just making sure everything's like cohesive and really disciplined. Making sure we're working hard every single time we're out there on the court in practice and games. Every time we're in the gym, just working out with our trainer, doing strength training, stuff like that. I mean, really like taking no days off, like no plays off,
Got it. Okay, now it's time for the fun questions. So, what is your favorite song to play to hype yourself up before a match?
Oh my god. I was actually talking to someone about this yesterday. Get Low by Lil Jon is like my ultimate pep-up song. Like, I literally go so hard when it comes on. Oh man.
Next, if you were going to be stranded on a desert island, and the only thing you can bring are 3 movies, which 3 movies are you bringing?
The Big Lebowski.
Classic.
Shawshank Redemption. It's a really good one. And don't hate me up for this one, but I really like National Treasure. It's a good movie, so I would bring that one.
Those are solid choices. Next question. What is your favorite aspect of St. Mary's College?
Oh man, there's so many things. I would say like the community aspect. Like everyone's just so welcoming, and like literally like from my first visit here up until now, like I see it every day. Just like the welcoming community aspect, like from my team to like people I don't even know, like my friends, like everyone is just like really like seems happy to be here and wants everyone else to be happy too. So.
Next, what is the best part about being a captain?
The best part is like having a sense of like responsibility, I would say, knowing that you, like your coach has this like trust in you, and that it's your, like you have this responsibility to go out and bring your team up and execute what the coach is trying to put across. So yeah, it can be hard sometimes, but it's rewarding, definitely.
Okay, and the last question, what is your favorite moment of the season that you most look forward to?
Favorite moment of the season? I really want to play CNU.
CNU.
I'm ready. I really can't wait to see them. So I'm excited for that.
Awesome. All right, on that note, we'll leave it there. Hannah, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
And this has been Hawk Talk. I'm your host, Ethan Garren, and we'll see you next week.